What's up guys, my name is Lance and today we are building a gaming PC at the $250 budget right now in mid to late 2026. So let's get into it. So this video needs no introduction. Right now is not an ideal time to build a gaming PC because RAM and SSD prices are really high right now because of AI, but if you really want to build a gaming PC right now and get straight into gaming, then you've come to the right place. So in this video, we'll be going over the parts we used, the benchmarks, as well as my recommendations. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, what we have here is an HP EliteDesk 800 G2, which I got on Facebook Marketplace at a really good price for around $155 US. Now, I picked this one because these pre-builds like this and the Dell Optiplexes are very common on the used market, and they can be found at a really reasonable price provided you look at the specs. So, what's inside this PC, you may ask? Our CPU is an i7-6700, which has 4 cores and 8 threads, and was released all the way back in 2015. And while it is showing its age, it can still hold its own pretty well in a lot of modern games, provided you manage your expectations. And we also have 16GB of DDR4 RAM, clocked at 2133 MHz, so the speed isn't amazing, but considering it's an Intel build, I couldn't really complain. And inside, we have a 480GB SSD, as well as a proprietary HP 280W power supply. So as you can tell, the specs on this are not really amazing, and the upgrade path is pretty much non-existent, and you can find better options on AliExpress, such as the Xeon combos, for example. But because these are so common on the used market and can still play most modern games just fine with a decent GPU, I can't really complain. It's so hard to resist. And as for the GPU, this one will shock you. So inside this anti-static bag, we have an RTX 3050 6GB, which I got for $95 on Facebook Marketplace, guys. This is crazy. So I know what you guys are gonna say. The RTX 3050 sucks. That's if you buy brand new. But if you find it at a really good price, this is really hard to resist. If we talk raw performance, the RTX 3050 6GB can play even the most demanding games just fine at lower settings, and is comparable to, let's say, like a GTX 1660. And there are a lot of things I like about this GPU, such as its low power consumption at just 70 watts, and it doesn't even need a 6 or 8 pin power connector, and it also has DLSS support, which the 1660 Ti doesn't, and it also supports ray tracing, so games such as Doom the Dark Ages that require ray tracing will work just fine on this GPU. But that being said, since it only has 6GB of VRAM, which is basically the bare minimum in 2026, you'll have to lower the settings in most games. And one game that actually won't run on this GPU is Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, as that actually requires 8GB of VRAM. But again, if you find an RTX 3050 6GB at this price point, I'd say it's pretty much worth it. Alright, so that's all our parts, so now I'll show you how to build this PC. So all you need to do is you grab this PC and you see this little, I don't know if you can see me, you see this little hinge right here. All you gotta do is open it and put it aside. And all you gotta do is lay it on the floor just like this. And now that you've laid down your PC, what you wanna do next is grab your graphics card, and you wanna make sure to insert it at this slot right here. So yeah, since we're inserting it at this slot, you see these two metal plates right here, you wanna get rid of them. So what we gotta do is pull this latch up here and get rid of these two metal plates. And also make sure that the white latch, as you can see right here, is down. And because we are using a mid-sized graphics card, it is expecting a single slot GPU. So this USB port right here, it gets in the way. So we're just gonna push this down. I know it sounds dangerous, but I've done this before and it still works pretty well. So let's just push this down and get our graphics card and insert it at this PCIe slot. So persevere until you hear a clicking sound. And just like that, our graphics card is installed. So yeah, just so pull the latch back up and get your side panel. Okay, so as you can see, if you haven't noticed already, our GPU drivers aren't installed yet. So what we want to do is open your browser of choice and install the drivers from NVIDIA's official website. So yeah, just search up the drivers and click on here. Basically, this will take you to the NVIDIA website, and you want to select GeForce, RTX 30 series, RTX 3050, and Windows 11. And then you click Find, click View, and click Download. Once that's downloaded, just open this one in your File Explorer. Click Yes, press OK, and this should be finished downloading. Alright, so it just finished downloading, and now it's installing the drivers. So just click Agree to Continue, like Express, and just like click Next in all of them. And yeah, like once you click Next on all of them and the graphics drivers are installed, then you can get into gaming. And once that's finished, you should see something like this, and just click Close. I also installed Steam, as you can see right here. So yeah, like it's just installing Steam right now, and from there you can install your games. Alright, now with our system built, I'm gonna talk about this system as we roll through the benchmarks. So starting with Black Myth Wukong, as you can see, we're getting around 40 to 50 FPS at medium settings with DLSS quality, and this is not a bad result for $250. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, is that this system is more of an esports machine and is not designed for AAA gaming, and while it can play these games just fine, you'll have to manage your expectations by using lower settings, and don't expect 60 FPS. Anything above 30 FPS is playable for me, but as you can see, this RTX 3050 6GB is definitely not designed for AAA games. And as we get into the most demanding game of the day, which is Alan Wake 2, we had to use the low preset with DLSS unbalanced to achieve 43 FPS, so not the greatest, but definitely playable, and for $250, I'd be happy with these results. And where this machine shines is with AAA gaming, so as you can see, with Marvel Rivals, which is another demanding game, we're able to get above 60 FPS, and other games such as Fortnite and CS2 can also get above a competitive 120 plus FPS. And the RTX 3050 6GB, if you can find it at this price, is definitely not a bad deal at all. If you can't find one at this price point, another GPU I'd recommend is the GTX 1660 Super, which offers slightly better performance for similar money, though it doesn't have ray tracing support. And if you want an even better GPU for a little bit more, you can get an RTX 2060 6GB, or even an RX 5700 XT or 6600 if you can spend the extra money. I would avoid buying this GPU brand new, but again, if you find it at around $95, this is not a bad deal. And as for the i7 6700, the CPU is holding its own pretty well in the games we tested. We're talking about an 11-year-old CPU with 4 cores and 8 threads. Yes, it is showing its age, and is a CPU bottleneck in some situations, but I'm definitely impressed by how well it's keeping up, even in the most demanding games. Now, would I build this PC? I would say yes and no. If you do deeper deal hunting on the used market, you can get even better systems featuring Xeon CPUs, or going the AliExpress route and finding X79 combos, which will net you more value for similar money. So this system isn't the best value for money, to be honest, and we really could have done better. However, if this is your only option you can find at your area, or if you already have a system like this already, slapping in a decent GPU like this one is a great way to get into the world of PC gaming, and is definitely worth considering. So now that we've finished the benchmarks, let's head into the conclusions. Alright, so that is our $250 gaming PC. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's not the best, but considering how common these are on the used market, like, I think we got ourselves a pretty decent deal, and a lot of people have Dell Optiplexes or HP EliteDesks like this already, and if you slap in a decent GPU like an RTX 3050 6GB, like I showed you here, then you get yourself a pretty decent gaming system. Now, it's not designed for AAA gaming like you saw with the Alan Wake 2 result. It can play those games just fine. However, you have to manage your expectations and reduce those settings, and don't expect like 60 FPS in AAA games, but again, this is a $250 gaming PC, so what do you expect? But for esports games, I think we got ourselves a pretty decent deal, like in Fortnite, Counter-Strike, and Marvel Rivals. This system played those games pretty well. Overall, I'm pretty happy with what we got, and this is definitely a decent way to get into PC gaming for the first time before you upgrade in the future. But anyways, that does it for this video. What are your thoughts on this PC? Let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to read your comments. Leave a like on this video if you liked this video, leave a dislike if you didn't, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.